Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We have another great edition of Bring It in the House podcast show where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal. And we have a fantastic meal tonight. I'm your host, Millie Mills. Oh, I'm so excited, guys, because these guys they're phenomenal. They're legendary. They're, what else could I say? Spectacular. I could go on and on talking about the Funk House Funk Band. That's what I call them. Powerhouse of funk and R&B. Woo!
Yeah.
Decades of hits and singles, dance floor party anthems, creators. This is the Word Up Story. I almost said the other word, but so Word Up Story, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am so honored. I'm so humbled to speak with you guys tonight. You're looking great. Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Welcome. Thank
you for having us.
Thank you so much. So we're going to start at the top there with Arnett. We got Arnett, Gregory, Nathan, and Tommy in the house tonight. So kind of like, I'm going to start with Arnett because everybody can't talk at one time. First of all, I want to say congratulations on all your success. And you guys are carrying the torch as one of the most influential groups in music history. How does that make you feel when you hear things like that? You're carrying a torch. History makers. Go ahead, Tommy.
After almost 45, 50, pretty close to 50 years now, I stopped counting. It's amazing to actually, it's humbling to know that after almost 50 years, man, they're still playing our music. We're still out here viable, touring, making things happen. We're still energetic and creative. God has blessed us truly to do and gifted us to do what we've all done. It's amazing.
It's truly amazing. All those decades with all those hits. I'm still trying to take it all in. So in case you guys are just tuning in, of course, this is the Word Up Story. But you guys were once a part of the wonderful group Cameo. Yay. We all know about Cameo. Larry Blackmon was once the front man and all that great stuff. So what's the story? How did y'all come up with the name, first of all? How did you come up with Cameo? Who started that? Or who
Take it, Greg.
Well,
Go ahead, Greg.
we were in Toronto and we had a single to be released, and we were then called the New York City Players. So we got word from the record company that if we didn't change the name, we would have to go to court with the Ohio Players. So, there was a cigarette pack up in Canada, and that brand name was called Cameo. And I said, well, how about Cameo as the name? And it had the emblem, as a brooch. And that's how we decided the name.
Yes. Awesome. That's a great story. And all of you are founding members of the group, or we have some newcomers that just joined recently?
No, we're all founding.
We're all
founding members. Yeah. We were there from the jump street, as they say.
Yeah. That's so rich. Oh my gosh. In college, gosh, y'all don't know the impact. Do you really understand the impact you guys had on the world? That Candy song. Okay, Word Up, Candy, Single
Life.
Yeah, Single Life. When I pledged AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority back in 1987, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And we would, on college night, we would have different events. And at least 3 of your songs would play throughout the night. Isn't that amazing? So that's why I'm so excited to get a chance to talk to you guys.
Cool.
How did you guys meet, though, from the beginning? Let's go back some. How did it all come together? Please tell us.
Well, I was with Greg. Greg and I were part of the New York City Players in the beginning. And like he said, we were in Toronto touring, and Nathan can pick up the story from here.
Yeah, Toronto was the birthplace for a lot of groups that were New York, New Jersey to play in. So we all met in Toronto.
In Toronto. And I mean, you guys were like in high school or right out of high school, or
No. We had
We
been
were
to high
accomplished
school.
musicians by then.
Yeah.
We were in our
college.
20s though. We were in our we were in our 20s. We were young men.
Right.
You know, but we had all been doing things, especially Nathan and Arnett, who were with I think Sam and Dave, or you were playing with Sam and Dave, or Gwen
Nat was playing with Gwen McCrae, actually.
McCrae.
I'm sorry, yeah, keep going out of frame. Yeah, I was working with the KC and the Sunshine Band, Gwen McCrae, George McCrae tour at that time, and they actually had come through Toronto. And Tommy, Greg, and Larry were staying at this hotel called the York Hotel. Do you remember that, Tommy?
Yeah. Yep.
And we were all at the York, and the guitar player in those days in the 70s, even on a tour like that, nobody was making any great money. So we were doubling up, and the guitar player and I were roommates. And he knew Larry, and he knew Larry was in the hotel. So we came up, and we all had a drink, and we all just talking, and we started talking about a supergroup. Because Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, everybody was out doing it. And we wanted to do the same, actually. So what happened at that particular point after that was we planned, we all get back in the country because, Toronto, you're still out of America. Let's get together. It turned out that on my birthday, Larry calls me and says, I've got a rehearsal. Can you bring your guys in? Because he knew he didn't have, they didn't have a bass player at the time, horn players. And we just put the band together. So we brought a bass player that worked with us. And on it, myself, we went and we sat down. And the first thing we started messing with was rigor mortis. And
this was in New York City.
Yeah, New York City. And that was with Eric Durham, who actually wrote the introduction to that song. It was one of those eclectic but really spiritual moments because we didn't know. We had no idea that, but even then we were all sure that, okay, well, fellas, let's get together. If we catch a fish, we'll all eat it. That was our mantra in terms of just, let's get together and get famous.
Let's get it popping.
Right.
I like the younger people say, and you guys did. And I mean, you took on. So now each one of you play an instrument.
Several instruments, actually.
Yeah. So, okay, tell us, what do you play, Nathan? Which instruments?
When I first got to the organization, I played trumpet and trombone and sung. Tommy played, he was singing, but he actually went to kalimba that he got very good at, and then eventually flute. Greg started at piano and then went to sax, and Arnett was playing multiple saxes at that time. So we could go through different instruments.
I play a multitude of instruments because I play clarinet, bass clarinet, flute, piccolo, bass, guitar, a little bit of drums. Tried my brother's trumpet, but it just messed with my armature, so I said, no, I can't do that.
That was my first time trying to learn trumpet. I'm like, that's not going
that trumpet is an MF. It ain't for the young. It ain't for the young. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I took up the kalimba because of my hero.
Playing the S out of kalimba. I like it.
I still got it, and I mess with it. Maurice White was my hero. So I tried to sing like him and all that. That was. That was my man back then. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Maurice White. Yeah. They started a sound, and okay. then we're getting off subject. But yeah, that was really great. I really love them too, Earth, Wind and Fire, and then the Commodores were kind of had a similar sound at one time. And
I need
then
something
you,
like. Go ahead, keep going.
no, I was gonna say then you guys came along and took it to another level. So that is so good. What I'm just curious to know, what inspired you guys to do music? How did that spark come about? Were you in like grade school or when you started playing instruments, or did all that come later as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
my folks started me off early just to keep me out of the street. I was taking piano lessons at church with the choir director, all classical stuff. And I heard Ramsey Lewis, the In Crowd, over the radio. And I went to my piano teacher and I told him, I said, look, this is the kind of music I wanted to play. And he, at the time, he said, well, that's not real music, but that I learned later on as I grew older that he didn't know anything about jazz music. He didn't know how to play it or what it was comprised of. He was just classical. So I started picking and learning things off of the radio. And that's how it developed.
So you just kind of picked up by sound.
Yes.
Okay.
well, for Nathan and I, my father was adamant. You're playing trumpet, you're playing sax, you're playing guitar, and that's it. Even though my very first instrument that I learned to play was violin.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa.
that was my very first instrument. And
That's
when
amazing.
actually, the teacher got quite upset with my father when my father told him, no, he's playing sax after you're not playing violin. Even if you're good at it, you're not doing it.
Did that disturb you just a little when he told you that, or you just went with
I
the
was
flow?
too young and too energetic about life itself
Right.
to let anything like that bother me. It was just like, all right, well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Plus, we love playing everything. I mean,
Yes.
it was just
Yes.
in our DNA. We love playing everything. The strange thing, when you ask questions like that, it's like with all artists, they all start somewhere, humble as it is, and musicians, but people don't understand to accomplish what you do, and you could have been a doctor, you could have been anything, because it takes many, many years. Just I can't even get into when you start an instrument. There's scales. There's 100 of them. That you have to learn. There's chords. There's the whole theory of music.
And
And then there's the
I'm
application.
still working at it.
Yeah, that you
well,
have to work at it. So if
you
get a
will
chance to
die
actually-
working at it, and you'll die working at it because scales are infinite.
It's
You know,
endless.
they're endless.
And if you get a chance to be successful, that is very, very, very special.
Yeah.
That's why
for
in
the
the very
public.
beginning. Yeah, that's why when I was, a kid, I used to sing in church. That's where, I started pretty much. That's where a lot of vocalists and musicians start in church. And I used to sing in church, and I listened to, my parents used to play all the jazz, the classics. I mean, all the old cats. And then when I discovered the Temptations and Motown and Four Tops, and then we were listening to Black Ivory and all these other groups that were just vocalist singing groups. I mean, that's pretty much where I learned how to formulate my own sound,
Yeah,
and then songwriting was something that I've always done as far as writing, period. I used to write all the time. And as I developed as a musician, as an artist, I discovered that I could write, and I contributed a lot as far as songwriting is concerned to Cameo, and so we that's pretty much where it is. I mean, when you're singing, that's all you do.
And Tommy hit on the point when you create. From the time that we first got together from that first rehearsal, that's when we first started working on our very first hit single, Rigor Mortis. At the time, the New York City Players had a song called Find My Way Out. It did okay, but what we were all interested is that Casablanca at that time said, well, we're going to give you guys one more chance. Find My Way didn't sell that well,
Right.
but what else you got? And you got in the room. What's going to keep you here? And when we came with that rigor mortis, oh man, it was, and that was the tune that myself, my brother, and Larry wrote. But me and that came with the initial idea, and Greg and Tommy and everybody all joined in. And when we made that thing happen, we had no idea it was going to do 500,000 units in a matter of weeks, and we had no idea.
Yeah.
It was just the start of it.
It was just the beginning. Now, I'm not that familiar with that single, but I'm going to tell you the song that really turned my head with you guys.
Tell us.
I just want to be what you want me to be.
Greg,
Yeah.
Our first gold single.
Yeah, that's the one that I wrote. Yep.
Yeah.
That's which one? Is that Nathan or Gregory?
No, that's
Right.
Greg.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one that I wrote.
Oh,
First
wow.
gold
Came up
single.
with the bass line
Yeah.
and the hook.
Yeah, it was a crazy bad mamma jamma. Yeah,
Yes.
and from our point of view, the way we did back then is a guy brought an idea to the table, and the whole band went to work on it.
Right.
And it bothers me so when I hear these guys say, "Oh, I wrote this or I wrote that" when they're in a band, because they know damn well that
It was a
what the
collaboration.
guitar player was playing,
Yeah.
what the keyboard player was playing, what the horns are playing were all creative ideas.
Yes. Yeah.
Collaboration.
And no one person said, "You play this, you play this, you play this, you play this." It doesn't happen that way.
No, it
It
was
happens
real
in
organic.
that- and-
It was
and-
real
yeah,
organic
and-
when we created. It was
It's
organic.
organic as hell,
Guys would bring ideas,
And it was feeling, emotional feeling where, who said that funk was done just by one,
Yeah.
It was that-
yeah, and like giving credit to everybody, that was involved in the project is really a good idea, because really that's just the truth of how creative stuff happens.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand that when they see the names on a record, they think, "Oh, this guy came," but with bands, and that's something politically that you don't see anymore for that very same reason. That with bands, it means you got to pay a lot of people. When you're dealing with P. Diddy or whoever, you don't.
Yeah.
So
True. That's true. You guys have written so many timeless classics, out of all the ones that you've written. Is there a single classic that's one of your favorites to perform, and why?
There's so many.
So many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You
And
know.
there's a lot. I mean, we can name several. I think She's Strange is one that is always gets me. She's Strange because of the it's just so atmospheric. The way the keyboards and the sounds and everything.
yeah, it's moody.
Moody tune, and and an improbable rap that at the time was a chance taker, because
Yeah, it was.
You know,
I'm glad you put it
it
that way.
was-
'Cause it was. We were like, are you sure you want to say that? And I'm not talking about.
but it was
the
unique
lyrics
in the
itself.
way that it was presented, very unique,
Yes.
and that's why it came off. But
And
man, we got
especially-
Why Have I Lost You? We
It
got
was crazy
Sparkle.
from Cameo, because most people thought, are they rapping? No, it's that kind of thing in the rap world. But we were artists. We were artists that saw it as creativity. We didn't see it as rap versus R&B or anything like that. We were using all the tools that God gave us musically.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with She's Strange. Tommy is right. It was a chance taker.
But the one thing when we
I'm gonna get a glass
got
of
together,
water.
it became a brotherhood, and I got to say that because in the very beginning, we were riding in vans, going to and from gigs, going from one gig to the next gig, driving at night just to get
Right.
there on time, and still rehearsing and doing all those things. Thank God we were in our 20s, because we couldn't have done that, at our age now. But
Yeah.
we lived together for 4 or 5 years straight on the road. Well, I mean, we saw each other more than we saw our families. And the one thing I'd like to say too is, I give credit to all the people who helped Cameo rise up, and become famous. So all those people who are not mentioned, I give praise and all
Yeah.
of that to all of them. And the one thing I just want to say is, is you can't change history. And because you can't change history, you're looking at four of the original people who helped to bridge that history and along with all the others, who are not mentioned right now. One of our favorites, Mr. Wayne Cooper, may he rest in
Wayne
peace.
Cooper.
There are so many other people. Nathan mentioned Eric Durham, Gary Dowd, William Reeves. The list goes on and on and on. All of those gentlemen, by the way, are knights of the Sound Table.
True that.
Absolutely.
It's rich.
Yeah, with all respect, and then I want to say, we'll get to it eventually, but of course, we're in Atlanta. What is it, November 1st at the winery?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we will be doing, the word of the story thing. And a lot of people want to say to us, well, why you guys call it the word of the story? And that's because, look, we had a big disagreement as a unit. That disagreement turned into what it shouldn't turn into, and it ended up as a court case. Mm-hmm. When the court case finally came through, Larry had the right to use Cameo as a live act. He didn't want us to be able to use it. We could not use. Oh, we're Cameo too. So okay. So we said we're formally a Cameo. Still, even us saying that at this date, there seems to be some problems with that. But the truth is, these men that are on this phone today, with the exception of Larry, are the original members that started the very first idea and the very first thing. We want our fans to come see the show because it's the closest thing you're going to see to the truth of what we all used to do and what we all are doing now.
Amen. Amen. Well, I'm coming. I'm gonna try to.
You gonna be there?
All right. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna try. Y'all gonna save me a spot?
Melly, you got a spot, girl.
You know it's kind of hard to get in there. They send tickets selling fast.
Oh yeah, I know. Hey, one of the best.
That's right.
But it's cool.
Okay.
We got you.
Y'all still got me. Oh, thank you so much. That was going to be my next question. I'm still in awe just sitting here listening to your story. So I have to sit back and take it in for a second. But yeah, I know you guys have toured all over the world, and I was about to ask, what is one of your best or most memorable performances, or if you have one? I'm sure you have many, but which one stands out the most for you guys?
One for me was we were doing an outdoor concert at a fairgrounds, and the fairgrounds had sold out, and there was 88,000 people attending this concert, and we were doing one of our songs, and we asked everybody to put their hands up in the air. And when I looked out into the crowd, I could see all the way to the back, and even people who were on trees and stuff, everyone had their hands up. And it was just a memorable moment for me. Like, you see the influence that you have. And it was a wonderful thing, a wonderful feeling.
That's similar to mine. We were doing a show at Cincinnati. I'm sure it was a Cincinnati stadium.
Yeah, it's a jazz festival.
When you had the jazz festivals, when you had Rick James and, everybody was on shows like that. Mm-hmm. So we were on, and after the last show, after the last song, the crowd, everybody, the whole stadium was filled, 60,000 people, something like that. Back then, instead of phones, they had lighters. Mm-hmm. So everybody in the whole stadium had a lighter the whole stadium was lit up, and then
The
all
big
you heard was,
lighters.
Lick the Bic.
Yeah, the big lighters.
that's all you heard as we rolled out in our carts, you know, in the golf carts going back underneath the stadium to the dressing rooms. I looked up and I'm like, this is why I'm in this business.
This is why. Yeah.
Because what we give from the stage is reciprocated by the audience. By
Yeah.
you know, you give it out and they give it back. And that was a phenomenal moment that I'll never forget, because that just crystallized everything that we were doing and that what I was in the business for. Man, and then we taught that man, when it's a good show, you know it's a good show. When it sucks, you know
Yeah.
that was a good show.
It was a good show.
Greg, what do you say? How say you?
I remember the Budweiser Superfest. I think it was in Jersey we did it. And they said, no, we don't want y'all to get off of the stage. So the last song that we did, we jumped off of the stage and
It was
ran.
a stadium.
Yeah,
They didn't want us to be on the grass.
yeah.
Right.
That's what I remember. That was a hell of a show too.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say for me, I'm going to get real eclectic about this.
Mhm.
It wasn't about one performance. It was really about, we were young black men in a country that in the 70s that was not, that would not give us a loan, that we all said, we got a multi-million idea, we got good credit, They wouldn't have given us that loan. We did this on ourselves and turned it into a multi-million-dollar worldwide thing. At the time that Word Up came out, we were doing 400,000 units as Atlanta artists a week. We were the the seventh major record company in the world in terms of sales. That is not to be played with. It is, and I say those numbers just to say, for all our people, this is what we can accomplish when we all really work together in honesty.
We work together. That is so true. Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing to see. We experienced it. Actually, we did it. We're doing it again.
We're doing it again. Did you ever, when you guys started out, did you think that you guys would go to such heights like that with your career?
I did. I walked down to the beach. I lived on Long Island. I walked down to the beach and I wrote Cameo in letters big as my garage, just so that the waves could swipe over them and wipe them. I didn't know. I mean, this is simply a spiritual thing I was doing.
Yeah.
But I kind of expected that maybe we'll go.
After a certain time, you do. I mean, you
my
never
parents
really
thought we
know.
were crazy, but I thought
you never really know. I mean,
I'll
my
go-
parents your parents used to tell me, make sure you got something to fall back on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our goal was to be the best. We were trying to be the best at what we did, and that was motivation. you know?
Yes. And your music has left an indelible mark on society for numerous decades. So with that said, how do you guys feel about, the internet and how it has impacted the music business? I'm sure it has really helped you guys stay, in that realm of history. Do you agree?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Technology. You can run from it or embrace it. We embrace it.
Yeah. That's good stuff. That's
Yeah,
good.
you gotta. Streaming and all that. I mean, this is what keeps our catalog vibrant.
How can you
stream?
How can you sell 25, 30 million albums worldwide and not really try to, keep in touch with that presence? And that's what the internet allows us to do on a daily basis.
Social media.
At this point, I'm sorry, Tommy. We said at this point.
No. Go ahead.
You can go to Facebook, the Word Up Story. Check us out. You can go to TikTok. You can go to Instagram. We're on there. our shows on there, our our performances and all that are on there. Keep up with us, holler at us. We will hit you back.
Amen. Do you have a message for your fans? You want to leave a word for them? What would you like to give to your fans if you have a message?
Thank you for
Thank
allowing
Thank you,
us
and
to
don't forget to come see us on November 1st.
November
right.
1st. If you're in the ATL, yes, come see us. And if you're in California, take a flight and get your ass here.
And there are a lot of imposters out there, so be sure that you check out the Word Up Story.
Check out the Word Up Story.
Some reasonable verbos in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, you guys heard it. You got the invitation directly from them. The Word Up Story, of course, is going to be at the City Winery in Atlanta on November 1st. So don't you miss out. Any shout outs before we wrap things up, guys?
Oh, let me just shout out to my hometown, Amityville, Copay. We love you. Yo, 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 my peeps.
I want to say,
Shout out to Dallas, Georgia.
Dallas, Georgia. Yeah.
Shout out to Rahway, New Jersey, baby.
New Jersey.
Rahway,
Jersey.
where I made
You
my
from Jersey?
bones.
All right. Any last words or anything of encouragement you want to share before we wrap
With
it up?
everything, we want everybody to keep it safe and be peaceful. Have a good day. We love you.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Thank you.
Take care of each other.
And Millie,
Okay.
thank you
Yes.
for having us.
Thank you guys
Yeah,
so
man.
much.
Love your podcast.
Yeah, we had a
You're
great
doing good
time.
work. Thank you.
See you
Love
soon.
you.
Oh, I'm getting balloons.
Oh yeah! Big shout out to Roxanne and Belinda.
Roxanne.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Roxanne.
Yeah.
And the DreamWorks crew.
Don't see, everybody does that when I'm gonna go, Roxanne,
Man.
you don't have to go up red light.
If you missed this show, you can go to my YouTube channel, Millhouse Entertainment 1748, and check out the Word Up Story. These are the original members of the legendary group Cameo. Thank you guys so much for being with us right here.
Wait a
on
minute.
Bringing It to the House.
Represented by Dream Crew. Go, keep going.
Represented by Dream Crew. We love you, Dream Crew. Thank you guys again for tuning in to Bring It in the House. We'll see